So welcome, guys. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Joe Dillon. I built and scaled a wholesaling business, started in DC, hit seven figures in 2015, moved our business down to Tampa. That's where I met Adam. We started doing business in multiple markets. We went through a lot of trial and error, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of hiring mistakes, management mistakes, marketing strategy errors, acquisition problems, disposition issues, the whole nine, right? We had so many issues up and down. And so it has been such a passion of mine to learn how to build a real business with processes, with automations, with delegation, while still maintaining profitability. And so that's one of the things that I do now is I help real estate investors specifically scale their business. And so I am super excited to be here with you guys. For those of you who are watching the replay, if you're watching the replay, then appreciate you being here and watching the replay. So I'll go ahead and jump right in. Let me share my screen here with you guys. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Oh, wait, hang on. There we go. Okay, so can you guys see my screen now? Yes?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. All right, cool, guys. Well, this is my baby, my brand. I run an operation called Seven Figure Wholesale. And essentially, as I was saying, I help real estate wholesalers scale to seven figures. And I'm obsessed with business. I love how you can create from scratch in business, and you can never stop optimizing. So I think it's such a cool playground for creativity. And so I run this program, guys, called Seven Figure Wholesale, in which, again, I help the investor that's already doing deals. I help them scale and create a real business out of it. So first and foremost, before we get started, guys, I want everyone here, I want your full engagement, okay? I want you guys to be present. I want you to be engaged, and I want you to learn as much as possible. So I want you to turn off distractions, all right, and fully engage here, all right? So be engaged. And so what I mean by that is I'm going to ask questions. I want you guys to answer in the chat. And I'm not doing this just to do it. There's a reason for why I'm doing it, because I want you guys to learn more. So there was a Harvard study that said there was a difference when people were just listening to content, were not taking notes. They retained, I believe, 30% of what they learned. When they listened and then they also took notes, they retained about 50% of what they learned. Okay, and they measured this through a quiz that they had everybody take after. When they listened, took notes, and then they basically regurgitated the information in some way, and they were interacting with the professor, that's when they were getting upward scores of about 80%. So I'm doing this for a reason, guys. Be present, engage fully, and like I said, take notes during this presentation, because it's going to help you scale, okay? Lastly, ask questions, right? There will be a time at the end for Q&A, and I want you guys to just, again, be engaged here. Ask questions as you need, as you see fit, and we'll write them down, better yet. Write them down, and so we will answer the questions in the Q&A. Chances are I'll probably answer your question during the presentation, but if not, then just write it down so we can answer it on the Q&A. Okay, cool. So I want to, again, be super engaging here, and I want as much engagement as possible. So who's in the room? I want to know, who am I talking to when it comes to your actual experience? So raise your hand, okay? And I know we can see the hand raises here. Actually, you know what? Better yet, type in the chat, okay? Because I can see that. So guys, type in the chat if you consider yourself new. When I say new, I mean maybe 6 months or less. Maybe you've only done a deal or 2 or 3. You've been in the game for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months. You still consider yourself new, okay? Just type new in the chat for anybody that considers themselves new. I want to know who I'm talking to here, guys. So we got 1, 2, Justin, Jimmy, Keith, okay, Alexis, Nicholas, okay, 5. All right, cool. 5. All right. So type in the chat. Okay, so I want to know the next person is intermediate, let's say, okay? So intermediate meaning, and it doesn't have to be wholesaling, right? So Chris, I just saw your comment there. It doesn't have to be wholesaling, even if you have years of experience in investing, that's fine too. So I want to know who's intermediate, all right? When I say intermediate, let's say you've done, anywhere from 5, 10 to 20 deals. You've been in the game maybe for 6 months to a year and a half, somewhere in that ballpark. You consider yourself intermediate, just go ahead and type intermediate there in the chat. Again, I want to see who I am speaking to. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people who consider themselves new. We have, perfect, it looks like it's pretty evenly split across the board. 3, 4. 4 people who are intermediate. I would, maybe if I count Chris, that would be 5 because you're not new to investing. All right, cool. And then anybody past that, anybody who's been in the game for longer than a year and a half, done over 20 deals, just type advanced. Okay, so new, intermediate, advanced. I want to know who I'm talking to here. Great. Advanced, 3+ years. Beautiful. All right, so it's cool how this happens. Typically, every time I do this, there's always an even mix, and it looks like there's right about a third. So, great news for this presentation is going to help you regardless of where you are. Okay, so it looks like again we have it's pretty split even across the board. Appreciate you guys again joining. So let's move on. I want to see, is this you? Okay. I work a lot and do everything in my business. I struggle with systems and processes. Some months are up, some months are down. I'm doing 1 to 3 deals a month. I want more. I'm a one-man or one-woman show. I want a team, but I don't know where to start. Guys, there's 6 statements here. I want you to type in the chat how many of these statements, right? There's 6 statements. How many of these 6 statements actually apply to you, right? And again, yep, thank you, Shane, 100%, all 6. 3, okay, great. Let's see, anybody else? How many of these statements actually apply to you, right? Beautiful, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. All right. Well, it looks like you're in the right place, guys. 4 from Jimmy. Thank you. You're in the right place because this whole presentation is exactly tailored to that. All right. I'm going to be covering the 3-step roadmap to how to scale your business. Thank you, Jimmy. So yeah, it looks like a lot of these apply to you guys, right? So what we're going to be talking about today, guys, as I said before, is the 3-step roadmap to 7 figures. Okay, now not only did I scale my business, right, from 0 to multiple 7 figures, but I have helped a lot of wholesalers in this industry scale their businesses as well. And I am super passionate about giving them the tools, not only just on the systematic level, which that's my strong suit, but also even on the mentality level, right? Because a lot of times people are in their own way, and that's the reason that they can't scale to, it doesn't have to be 7 figures, but that's the reason that they can't grow and consistently break new barriers. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, guys. By the way, I'm a big picture guy, okay? And so what this is going to be about is big picture 3-step roadmap that I want you guys to be very fully engaged learning so that you can pull yourself along this 3-step roadmap. All right. So let's begin. So guys, again, about me, I'm 30 years old now, from DC. I had humble beginnings. I shared a one bedroom, a 2 bedroom apartment with, a small 5-person family, right? I had 3 brothers and I shared one room with them my whole life, growing up. But I always knew that I was going to be more. I always knew that. And so that's one of the foundations of my program, is the underlying belief in what you are, what you believe you deserve, right? And who you believe you actually are. For that reason, yes, I'm obsessed with personal growth. I love self-discovery. I love the path of becoming better, becoming grander, becoming more. And so naturally, I got into business at a young age, and since have built 2 7-figure real estate businesses. And I help the real estate investor that has already done maybe a few deals. Maybe they're doing 1 to 3 deals a month. I help them get their business to a consistent place to where they're doing 10 deals a month plus, right? And that is my passion, not only to see that on a business tangible side, but also the non-tangibles, to see what that does for their happiness, to see what that does for their sense of freedom, for their overall well-being, right? Because God knows there are so many people out there that have created and made money, business, power, and success. They've made that their God. And when they get to that level, there's always another level. And so I'm also super passionate about helping people live their purpose, helping people live their mission. So that's what I'm here to do, guys. But again, I have another question for you guys. So why did you don't have to put it in the chat. You can if you want. Why did you choose wholesaling amongst other ventures, right? Everyone here, by the way, is everybody here? You guys can type in the chat. Just type yes if this applies to you. Is everybody here full-time? Is everybody here full-time? This is your main gig. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, awesome. Okay, cool. Well, for those of you who, yes, thank you. So let me ask you guys, who of you guys that are listening, who of you this is not your full-time gig, right? Let's say maybe you have a full-time job on the side. Is there anybody here that applies to that? Okay, cool. All right, so in that case, again, I want you to reflect and say, why did you choose wholesaling amongst other ventures, right? Perhaps you got into it because a friend told you, maybe you heard it on the radio, maybe you heard Dan Merrill talking about it on the radio. Maybe you got into it from a friend, right? And you got all these big box gurus that are telling you, hey, there's a great way to make money. You can buy houses with no cash and no money down, right? Is that the case? Is that the case? Have we seen that, right? And I'm sure you got, like I said, all these big box gurus that are telling you to get into this industry because maybe you thought it was a quick way to entrepreneurship. And there's so much to say on that, but let me ask you guys this. I'm sure they're portraying that this business is easy, right? You guys got into the market. You guys got into the industry. You guys got into wholesaling. Let me ask you guys, is this business easy? I want to actually ask you guys on the chat. Do you feel like the business is easy? Right, simple, not easy. Correct. Mechanics are easy. The hustle's not. Absolutely, right. Exactly, yeah. So I'm hearing from you guys, and so I want to see. There's a lot of you that are probably still trying to crack this code. I want you to ask yourself, are you still trying to crack this code, right? And so, maybe you got into it. Maybe you've tried different lists. You've tried several marketing channels. Maybe you've tried different lead sources. You bought courses, right? And you're realizing now it's harder and harder to get contracts. Maybe you have inconsistent deal flow. Maybe there are even some of you here that are living deal to deal, right? And because of that, maybe this business has caused you to be stressed, right? Has it caused you to be stressed? Has it caused you to be worried? Has it caused you to be overwhelmed, right? Thinking there's so many things to do in this business. Not only do I have to create leads, but I have to nurture the leads, and then I have to sell the deals, and then I have to do my marketing. It's a lot, right? And maybe that's caused you to be inefficiently working all the time. Ask me how I know this. I deal with so many wholesalers on a daily basis, and every single one of them has had some type of inefficiencies in their operation, in the way that they show up every day. And maybe you feel like you don't have time. Has anybody felt like that? Has anybody felt like they don't have the time to do everything that they need in this business? Right. And so, guys, if this is you, and oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm just seeing these Q&A as well. So Al, it looks like you're answering on the Q&A. So if you can, you answer on the chat. So it's just a different button. You can just click chat as opposed to the Q&A. But guys, I know I've been there, especially as a one-man show, one-woman operation. It's not the easiest to do everything yourself. And even if you are a little bit skilled, sometimes it can still feel like, how am I supposed to manage all these? How am I supposed to direct these people, give them their jobs, show up for the tasks, while still maintaining my leads, doing follow-up and all that good stuff. So guys, if this is you, listen up, because your life is about to change, okay? I also was there, and I also was where you were. I got into this business in 2014, and when we got in, by stroke of luck, we happened to get one deal that was $30,000. The next month, we got another deal that was $40,000, right? This is back in DC in 2014. Average spreads were high. Wholesaling was not as saturated as it is now. But I started counting my money. I thought I was going to be a millionaire by that next year. And then what happened is, next month came, no deals. The month came after that, no deals. Right? We were jamming out on the phones, making so many calls, sending mail. The next month after that, we still had no deals. Guys, we went 4 months with 3 people working full time, and we had no deals. And at that point, I was so confused, and I was scared, and I was worried, right? Like I said, maybe some of the things that you guys may have experienced, may or may not. But we had a lot of hustle, right? But we were kind of just throwing stuff against the wall, no systems. We were always chasing the deal. We had no systems, processes, or accountability, no hiring experience. Our bank account went up and down, almost hit 0 3 times. And we could not seem to find consistency to save our freaking lives. And that was how our life was, until I discovered that building a business, guys, it's a science, okay? All you need is the right system. And you put in place the right system, and your life can change. So what did that look like? What did we start to do? We started hiring the right mentors, which started to show us the way. And so instead of just throwing stuff against the wall with our marketing, we started to automate our marketing. We started to strategically send out marketing, as opposed to just basically throwing your stuff against the wall and seeing what's stuck. We started to create crystal clear accountabilities with roles, with responsibilities, so that every seat is very clear. We put diligent processes in place so that all of the processes of our business were standardized. And when you get standardization, you get replicatable results, right? And then you can also delegate correctly. And then what do we do once we had those processes? We hired people into those processes. And once we hired people into those processes, we want to make sure that we're training them as much as possible, so that they are performing to the best of their ability. I mean, a great acquisitions person, right, that you hire versus a poor acquisitions person can mean the difference between you making $20,000 this month, even $10,000 this month, and you making $80,000 this month, right? It's that important. We developed a CRM, a very robust CRM with automations, with follow-ups, so that We're very clear on the next step of the flow. We're very clear on different segments and elements of our operation. And there's processes for that. Okay, nothing gets lost in the sauce. And then because of that, because we created a CRM, we're able to track and analyze our KPIs, which is incredibly useful when it comes to steering the ship, right? Let me ask you guys this. How many here feel like you have a master grasp on your KPIs? You know exactly what's going on in your business, and you know where to go based on your KPIs. Does anybody feel like that? Okay, awesome. We got one. Okay, Shane says none. Cool. All right. Well, typically there's one or two out of a big room, and so that will definitely tell you something. So we tracked and analyzed our KPIs, right? We strategically motivated our team. Okay, we understood their goals, where their vision lied amongst our vision, and we put together standards and KPIs for our team as well, so that they can start to see how well they're doing, and we can start to understand their performance and motivate them. So amongst all those things that we implemented, boom, we hit 7 figures in 2015. We had grown every year since then. We scaled to multiple markets. We were hitting multiple 7 figures per year, a team of rock stars, and we had a fully automated business, most importantly, that ran without us, okay? And that impacted my life so much that since then I opened a coaching business, and I also have a mastermind that I run, where we basically we've helped over 200 real estate businesses scale their businesses and at this point. It's been absolutely amazing, and that's what I really love to do. And so that's what I'm here to talk to you guys about today. So I'm gonna make you a promise, guys. I promised you that if you implement this system, this roadmap, okay, if you allow me to show you what worked for me and what's working for hundreds of clients around the nation, if you allow me to show you that, I'm going to make you that promise that it will move you from inconsistency to consistency. It will move you from making 10,000 a month to making 50,000 a month to making 80,000 a month. It will move you from where you are to where you want to go. And we're not just talking about making money here. We're talking about creating a real future that you can really, really be a part of, that really manifests right for you. And so taking the trip that you want, having the amount of money that you want, spending the time with your family that you want, guys, this is what this will do for you, okay? But first, I just want to set some expectations real quick. So how many of you here, and I do want to get an answer from you guys. So how many of you here think that I can tell you everything that you need to know, everything that you need to learn in scaling a 7-figure wholesale business in 90 minutes or less? How many of you think that? Anybody? All right, great. Well, the reality is, and I appreciate the I appreciate the thought there to think that it's possible. The reality is, it's not, right? I can give you an overall structure. There's no possible way I can tell you everything that you need to know in order to scale to 7 figures profitably, right? In the right order, with the right steps, taking the right precautions. There's no possible way I can do that in 90 minutes or less. However, I am going to give you a roadmap, okay? And my goal is simply with that, we'll give you a ton of guidance, a ton of clarity from where you are to where you want to go. And should you want more, and should you want all the details for how we were able to scale our business with all the processes in place, showing you how to do it from A to Z. That's something that I do. Again, that's what I do. And I've been able to help hundreds of wholesalers do that. And so my hope is I can give you so much value during this call. And you guys are gonna have an opportunity to talk with one of my main guys, Juan, who can jump on a free strategy call with you guys, help you guys on where you are in your business. And if it fits, I'll be upfront with you again. If it fits, I would love to be the one to help you in one of my programs. However, I'm still going to give you guys as much as possible as I can within the 60 minutes. Okay, is that fair? Is that fair, guys? Beautiful. All right. Well, I appreciate that, and thank you for listening. I definitely wanted to get that out right first. So that being said, again, let's jump in. Today's agenda, we're going to be talking about the 3-step roadmap to 7 figures, okay? So I've boiled it down, guys. The first step to scaling your business to an automated, delegated, profitable machine is to create cash space. So what does this mean? What does creating cash space mean? Essentially, you have to see step 2 and 3 in order for this to really make sense. But before we go and really put processes into our business, really optimize the business so that we can put people into it, before we do any of that, we need to create a buffer. We need to create some cash space, some breathing room, so that you can take a step back and you can start to work on your business as opposed to in your business, okay? And I'm going to show you guys how to get that cash space target as soon as we cover this this module right here. So second is optimize your operations. Now, once you have cash space, now you can take a step back and optimize your operations, all right? Which now you're gonna go diligently in and build optimization within your business so that step number 3 is you can delegate that out, all right? So that is the 3-step pathway to scaling, and we're gonna go through each one of these steps here today, okay? So this is otherwise known as the COB method to scaling, the COB method to scaling. For short, cash, number 1. Second, optimize, number 2. Third, build. And that is going to be your roadmap to scaling. All right, so let's talk about the first step, which is create cash space. So this may be obvious, but it's not to some. So your main goal in this stage is to generate revenue, to take massive action, to talk to as many sellers as you can. It's not the time to pursue multiple avenues and spread yourself thin. It's not the time to go deep in on creating processes. It's time to take massive action and talk to as many sellers as you can, okay? For those of you in the group that are advanced, that said that you are advanced, okay, you probably know this, right? There was a point when you were first starting out that all you needed to do and all you had to do was just knock out as many freaking phone calls as you can. Get the grit work done, okay? So that's your main goal. So don't get distracted by the things that don't matter. Do not get distracted by the shiny object syndrome with new streams of revenue if you haven't hit your cash space. Stay focused, stay laser focused, and doing what you need to do. Be decisive, pick a system, and go with it. Don't try to do too many things at once, all right? So how do we create cash space? First, we need to identify our cash space target. So your cash space target is going to be 3 to 5 months of reserves, okay? So what does that mean? So there are 3 main buckets of expenses in your business, guys. There's marketing, there's labor, and there's G&A. Typically, what I teach is in a 20-30-20 rule, where 20% of your revenue should be spent on marketing, 30% should be spent on labor, and G&A should be 20, right, or less. All of this will create a 30% profit margin business after you pay yourself, okay, which is a healthy, profitable business. Now, for those of you who are starting, maybe you have a small business, this can be a lot lower, right? And for those of you who have a little bit more advanced businesses, as you probably know, once you start to scale, the profit margin starts to go down. So that's something to keep in mind. So here's what I want you guys to do. Take 2 minutes and calculate this out for yourself right now. How much do you spend on marketing, right? And when I say marketing, I mean everything. Your lists, how much you spend on your lists, how much you spend on your skip tracing. How much do you spend on smarter contact? How much do you spend on any other forms of marketing, right? Take 2 minutes, calculate how much you spend on marketing or should spend on marketing every month. Okay. All right. So take a minute and do that for yourselves. All right. Now with labor, okay, and if you're still working, that's totally fine. Just still listen. With labor, for those of you who are just starting out or consider yourself new, you might even be wondering, okay, I don't even have any labor expenses. You want to calculate who are you paying, right? Labor is all people. So if you have an acquisition manager, or even if you have a virtual assistant, how much are you paying them a month, right? If you have, if you have, let's say, a dispo manager, a TC, anything like that, that you're including all your people that you're paying here in labor. Plus, you're including yourselves. So include yourselves. If you don't have a number that you're paying yourself, and I know this, there's a high chance that most of you in here are not paying yourselves, right? And again, ask me how I know, because I coach many investors on a regular basis. So if you don't have that number, right, just put what it would take for you to actually live, whether it's $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, put that number there, okay? So let's say you live in Miami, so high cost of living, it takes $4,000 a month for you to live, right? So that's $4,000. You have a virtual assistant that you pay $800 a month, so that's $4,800. That's what you would put for labor, okay? All right, cool. General and admin is basically, guys, anything that is not marketing, that's not labor. Okay. So what does that mean? Your office rent, if you have it, your phone stuff, your systems, any systems that you use, that's not directly attributed to marketing. So for example, I would count Smarter Contact as marketing, not general and admin. But if you have CallRail, or if you have Podio, if you have DocuSign, these are things that you put in G&A, okay? As a general rule of thumb, if you're a one-person operation, just use the numbers. You can use 3K for marketing, you can use 4K for labor, and 1,000 for G&A, which is a total of 8,000, okay? So let's say I had 8,000 a month in expenses. Well, 3 to 5 months of that would be 24,000 to 40,000. Okay, that's what I mean. This is your cash space target, and the goal is to get yourself to this number as quickly as possible. All right. Why are we getting ourselves to this number first? We're getting ourselves to this number again, guys, so we have the breathing room to then step back and work on the business. All right, but first we need to get there. If you have 5,000 in your bank account, you have no business creating a robust process, right? You need to take massive action and just get on the phone with as many sellers as you can. All right. Now, the goal is to get yourself to this number. So that's step number 1. Okay. Now, I want you guys to engage here. I want to hear from you guys. What is your cash space target? Just type it in the chat, okay? For those of you, if you guys have calculated it out, I want to know what's your cash space target. Okay, we got 30K from Nicholas, 40 to 50 from Jimmy, 54 from Al. Okay. Anybody else? Let's hear, guys. Let's hear it. Whoops, sorry. All right, I'm gonna have to assume that the rest of you guys are maybe still calculating. So no worries on that. 60K, beautiful. All right, well, it's gonna be very valuable for you guys to understand what that is, okay? Now, I say 3 to 5 months because if you're a risk taker, like you're more okay with risk, then you might be okay with 3 months. If you're less risk averse, then 5 months is probably a better option for you. Okay. Now, step number 2, market as efficiently as humanly possible. All right. Now, what does that mean? That means targeted, it means high ROI, and that means timely, right? So that it doesn't take as much time and we're getting the most bang for our buck. Because when you're working by yourself, usually, it's of utmost importance that you are managing your time as efficiently as possible. All right, so we're going to go through, again, covering what that means, guys. And we actually have an implementation plan for marketing for both cash space that I'll show you guys later. So market as efficiently as humanly possible. The third step is creating a simple lead management and follow-up system. Okay, so once you get leads in, right, it's not enough just to get leads in. But okay, all of you guys are using Smarter Contact, but do you have a CRM that you're using once you get interested leads? Or are you just using Smarter Contact? If you do, let's say you have Podio, how efficient is the Podio system? Is there a very clear lead management system and follow-up so that you know what you're doing every day? Every lead has a category and it's coming through very clear. So a simple lead management follow-up system, guys, that's enough to, again, to double your deal flow, right? Because how many times has it happened, for those of you that are advanced or intermediate, that you follow up with a lead only to understand and realize that it's already been sold to another wholesaler, right? And so we want to prevent that as much as possible by staying on top of the lead, okay? So with an efficient CRM. So again, this is high level, high level overview, guys, big picture. Once you start to market efficiently and you have a management system, you're going to close deals, right? And you want to rinse and repeat that until you reach your cash-based target. Okay, rinse and repeat until you hit your cash-based target. All right. So that's the overview of the first stage, which is creating cash space, right? And I obviously go a lot deeper into each one of these steps in my program, how to market as efficiently as possible, as humanly possible. But again, the main things is you want to think targeted, high ROI, timely, okay? And you want to have a roadmap, because otherwise you're going to get stuck in this cycle that so many of my clients were in before they started with me. You get stuck in this cycle of just being a deal closer, right? Do we have any deal closers here, right? You don't want to be a deal closer forever. You want to shift and move from deal closer to business owner. That makes sense? And that's where step 2 comes in. Step 2 being optimize your operations. Okay. Now, in this stage, we have 4 sub-steps. Okay. The first step is creating an automated marketing machine for the whole purposes of producing tons of leads, right? And so, guys, now that you have cash space, you can take a step back, and instead of just marketing high ROI targeted lists, now your marketing machine becomes more robust, it becomes more sophisticated, it becomes it has more arms and more legs. And in addition, one of the first goals that we have set out is to automate that, right? And so what do I mean by automating? We're going to create processes, right? I teach this in my program, but we create processes for the marketing machine, some of which I'll show you here in a little bit. And then we delegate those processes to a VA, right? And that way we're just, boom, producing tons of leads, right? Once we have tons of leads, this is an example of a document that we use, that I instruct all my clients to have their VAs use, right, that I created to build your sophisticated marketing machine. It's called the Marketing List Planner, in which in here you can plan your marketing plan every single month. And it's very intentional, all right? In addition, this is an example of, this is part of my Podio system, And you can see here the different lists and how well they're performing. Okay, how many leads, how many contracts, how many deals, how many closed deals, and what's the ROI, right? All this can be done from your CRM. So that's just an example of creating a sophisticated automated marketing machine to where it's very intentional, it's automated, it's delegated, you know what's happening. The whole goal, guys, is to produce tons of leads, ideally at the lowest cost possible. All right, so that is what I teach. Secondly, it is of utmost importance that at that point, you become a master closer on the phones for the purposes of converting as many leads as possible. How many of you consider yourselves master closers? Let's just type in the chat. Type in the chat. Just put yes. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. This is even better. Don't type that yet. Type in the chat, guys. I want everybody to engage here. Type in the chat if 1, 2, or 3. 1, if you feel like you're a novice on the phones. 2, if you feel like you're pretty good, but you can use a lot of improvement. 3, if you feel like you're a master on the phones. Type 1, 2, or 3. All right, we got a lot of 2s. Okay, cool. 1, 2. We got a 3. That's awesome. Cool. All right. So for those of you that marked yourself as a 1, you already know that you're leaving money on the table, right? And the longer that you wait to become a master closer or to attract or hire a master closer, then the more money you're going to leave on the table, right? So once we start to produce these tons of leads, it's going to be of no use if we don't know how to convert. So that's the second step. It's becoming a master closer on the phones. Okay. Third step is to implement airtight lead management. So in cash space, again, as I said, your main goal is to talk to sellers. Your main goal is to generate revenue. Your main goal is to be on the phones and get your ass kicked and or kick ass, right? It's not the time to create a super robust CRM. But now, in optimized operations, now it will be. Because you're going to be producing a lot of leads. You're going to be hopefully converting a lot of those leads. But as you guys know, maybe some of you don't know, it's not enough just to be a master closer. How many, I want to get a poll here. Type in the chat, what percentage of leads you actually think are ready to close as soon as they come into your system, right? So for example, all right, let's say you're doing texting, boom, this person says they're interested in selling, all right, and you get the contract that same week. What's the percentage? 1 to 5%, 5%, less than 5%, 5%, 0. Okay, well, it's not 0, but because there are some people that are ready to go right then and there. Less than 10%. Okay, good. We got some smart people in the room. So all of you are correct, right? It's typically anywhere, depending on what marketing channel you're doing, also depending on your market, anywhere from 5 to 15%, right? So it's very low. What does that mean about the other 95%? Guys, what does that mean? How are you going to close the other 95%? Type in the chat where you think the answer is. Follow up, right? They need follow up, right? And so this is where you implement airtight lead management, right? Correct, Shane, you're right. They need follow up, they need nurturing. Exactly. That's one way to put it, Nick. Follow up until they say fuck off or it's sold. Ideally sold to you. So airtight lead management system so you can capitalize on all the leads, right? So before we implement a simple lead management system so that nothing falls, so that there's a clear flow. Now we're implementing airtight so that nothing falls through the cracks. Okay? So we're capitalizing on all the leads. Oh, by the way, this is just an example of this is one of the I can't press pause here. Can you guys hear this? I don't know if you can hear it or not.
I cannot hear it.
Can't hear it. Okay. I don't know why it's not working, but that's okay. It would be cool if you heard what they were saying, but that's okay. There's technical errors right now. This is, as you can see on the board right there, an example of, so this is Brandy Pollock. He's down in Miami. Absolutely crushing it now. Before he joined, he was doing about, he was profiting about like 200,000 to 300,000 over the year. I came in. One of the main things that we completely tore apart and put back together was his lead management system. Just this past year, he's gone through my coaching program. He's also in my mastermind. He netted about 850,000 last year. That's after expenses, okay? And a huge part of that was completely redoing his CRM and his lead management system. So, utmost importance, guys. So, here, hold on. Okay, cool. I just wanted to double check to see if there was anything there. So, Trevor, by the way, I'll answer that question at the end of the session Q&A. So, the fourth step is developing an outstanding disposition process. Okay. Now that you've produced tons of leads, you're converting those leads, and you're capitalizing on all of them, you're going to close more deals. But there's also a potential for a bottleneck in disposition. If you don't have a good dispositions process, you're going to be leaving money on the table. And even though you might be getting 3 or 4 deals a month, 5 deals a month, right? Let's say you're getting 5 deals a month, but you don't have a good dispositions process, so your average is 5K. Versus if you do have a good dispositions process, your average can be 15K, right? And so developing an outstanding dispositions process to increase your average deal size by 20 to 30%, okay? I'm talking, better negotiations with your buyers. I'm talking having a buyer policy, a very clear disposition route, right? All of these things add to your deal flow, add to your bottom line, okay? Having a good cash buyers list, right? An effective dispositions process, okay? That will increase your deal size by 20 to 30%, all right? All of these things are going to optimize your operations. Is everybody with me so far? We have create cash space. Once you have the cash space, second, you're optimizing your operations. Again, we're talking high level here. Third, now it's time to start building your team. Okay? So this is the golden step. This is where you start to really multiply your efforts. You start to have different kinds of problems, and you start to make a ton more money. Okay? So I want to hear who I'm talking to again. So in the chat, guys, I want you to tell me how many people are on your team. And if it's just you, then put 1. But tell me how many people are on your team. Virtual assistants do count. Okay? 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 2, 5. Okay, Percy, awesome. 3. All right. And ironically, Percy, it looks like you have one of the biggest teams here. I remember you saying that you were one of the most passionate people in the beginning, saying that this business is not easy. And yes, you do know, especially as you start to scale this business. Nicholas, you have 6. Great. Okay, cool. So we got people all across the board. We got a bunch of 1s. We got a few 2s and 3s, and some more. So I love it, guys. So this is the golden step. Now, this is what I have seen so many people with teams do incorrectly. They put the cart before the horse. Before they have cash base, they start building their team. Before they optimize their operations, they start building their team, and then they find themselves in a spot to where their monthly expenses are high, their reserves are not high, and or their team is not operating to their maximum capacity because they don't have Either they don't have good processes built out or good training. That's what this golden step is for. Build your team. So there's 4 steps in building your team. Creating step-by-step processes for your operations, okay? Much of what we did in step 4, now we document everything. I'm sorry, in step 2, which is optimize your operations, now we document everything for the purposes of delegating them to our rock stars. Once we have processes create standardization, okay? If you don't have standardization, you will not have consistency. Let me repeat that. If you do not have standardization, which is only achieved only by creating and establishing processes for your business, if you don't have standardization, you will not have consistency. Okay? Now, again, after you create the step-by-step processes for your operations, your next step is to hire. Okay? Delegate those processes by hiring rock stars. So, who here has hired somebody that was not a rock star before? Who here has hired somebody that that was not an A player, that did not put in the work that you wanted to? Just type me. Yeah, type me, Jimmy. Okay, who here has hired somebody that did not turn out to be a rock star? Right. Beautiful. Me. All right, so you guys know how important it is to hire good people. Okay, I would argue that the most important thing when it comes to scaling your business is hiring great people. The most important thing. Okay, it actually comes second to processes, because if you had fantastic processes and you have mediocre people, you'll have mediocre results, right? You'll have maybe even poor results. If you have okay processes, but you have rock stars, you're going to achieve great things and you're going to have stellar results, okay? So there are also sub-steps to hiring. All right, I want you guys to have a process for hiring. Sourcing, selection, hiring, okay? These are the steps to hire. So sourcing is what's the pool of applicants? Where are you fishing in? What pond are you fishing in? The greater the pond, the better, the more results you get, right? And then out of those applicants that are coming in, what is your selection process, right? Do you have a good, we have actually a 5-step selection and hiring process that we, that we use to help all of our people elevate, right? And to help them hire correctly, okay? And I can't stress this enough. Do not wait until you're desperate to hire. Raise your hand, guys. Raise your hand if you've ever, or type in the chat if this is you. Just put me. Type in the chat if you've ever hired out of desperation, right? If you've hired out of desperation, Daniel, yep, me, boom, yep. There you go. So, guys, anytime you hire out of desperation, you're always going to feel like you made a good decision because you filled the position. But it's never a good thing to hire quickly. You want to fire quickly and hire slowly. All right. So I'll give you a little brief tidbit on our selection and hiring. Okay. LinkedIn, fantastic place to find people. All right. They have a good process flow, so where you can select who's a good fit, who's not. Ideally, you have a good LinkedIn profile too. Facebook is also a great place, and I love those. And then when it comes to selection, you want to sell your position as much as possible. Give them a small task at the beginning. Have them fill out the task. All right. Only respond to people who complete the task. All right. You review their resume and you respond to those people, and then you have them complete some sort of a personality profile. I like DISC. Have them complete a DISC, and then those who do that, again, you're filtering down the people who don't do it, filtering down. And then you jump on the phone with those people. Out of the people that you jump on the phone with, you're then going to go through a specific interview questions that I have, okay, that are designed to get the truth out of people. And then after that, you're going to invite them in for an actual test. Meaning, if you're hiring acquisitions, put them on cold calling. If you're hiring for dispo, have them review and maybe create a little test for them. If you're hiring a virtual assistant, create a test, right? This is the best way to hire, right? So once you hire, your job is not done, right? You know, raise your hand. You don't have to type in the chat, but just virtually raise your hand, even though I can't see you. If you've hired someone and you felt like you did a poor job managing them. Actually, I do want to know in the chat, who feels like they hired someone in the past and they did not train them or manage them the way that they know that they should have. Just type me in the chat if that's happened to you, or if you've done that before, right? Shane, Percy, BM, I don't know who that is, but what your first name is, but yep. Okay. This is a classic small business error. Classic small business error. Okay. So the next step is optimizing your team with world-class structures. That means implementing that bulletproof training. That means having standards and processes for how to manage them, having KPIs for your people, right? And also good leadership. What does that mean? Being a good leader to strategically motivate them in creating the vision for their lives within your bigger vision, right? So all of these is the golden step of building a team. And of course, we have accountability, KPIs, meetings, to where you will come together and discuss their performance, discuss issues, discuss accountability, and continue to knock it out. The fourth step is scaling your way to the top by ramping up marketing, okay? Once you've optimized your operations, you've built your team with processes, training, management, it's time to ramp marketing up, because now you have the capacity to handle more marketing and maximize on those leads, okay? So that's high level overview, 20,000 foot view of your roadmap to scaling. Creating cash space, optimizing your operations, and then building your team, okay? Now, I understand that each of you are at different stages of your business. My vision is to take every single investor that's out there that's willing through each of these three steps to mastery, to mastering their business, right? To mastering their profitability, their delegation, to mastering their automation, to mastering, their time, right? And so, guys, understanding this, I want you guys to understand that it does take a lot to go from step to step. And again, if you would allow me, I would love to help you, even if it's just on a free strategy call, help you guys through each of these three steps to mastering your business, okay? Now, I say this all the time, but I want to get your guys' input here. Wholesaling is actually not a real estate business, guys. It's not a real estate business. What kind of business is it? I want everybody to chime in here, guys. I want everyone's opinion. What kind of business is wholesaling? Okay, we have people business, dispo strategy, marketing and sales, marketing, sales. All right, marketing, sales, marketing, service. Okay. All right, beautiful. I appreciate all of your input. And yes, you guys are absolutely correct. Wholesaling is a marketing and sales business, okay? And as such, it is your duty, let me put this back. It is your duty to become a master at marketing and a master at sales. Now, that being said, take a good look and reflect and actually ask yourself, you know, I own a marketing business. Do I feel like I'm a master at marketing? I own a sales business. Am I a master at sales? Right? Ask yourself that right now. And again, ask me how I know this. Chances are you feel like you're not a master of either. But I'm saying this to say, to really make it obvious of what kind of business you actually own. Marketing drives the leads, sales converts and closes the leads. Make sense? And that's what kind of business you own. So, as such, regardless of what stage you're in, maybe some of you are in the cash-based stage, maybe some of you are in the optimized operations stage, maybe some of you are in the building your team stage. Regardless of what stage you're in, you'll need to do marketing. Your strategy will just be slightly different, okay? So let's talk marketing. So there's 3 phases of the marketing cycle, okay? First stage is planning. The second stage is implementation. The third stage is analysis, okay? Third stage is analysis. Most people go straight into implementation. Okay, if you're throwing shit against the wall and hoping what sticks, then you are living, breathing, and dying in the implementation stage. Failing to spend the precious time in the analysis stage and the planning stage. Okay, so we're going to go through this marketing cycle together. First step is planning. All right, here's the planning process. All right, again, big picture, high level. Obviously, you guys are marketing at the very least. Maybe some of you are solely marketing on Smarter Contact. Maybe some of you are marketing on other marketing channels as well. Your first step is to acquire lists, right? Where do you acquire lists? You can get them from the county, direct and free. That's the source. You can get them from third-party sources. You can get them, here's a list of them. List source, PropStream, foreclosures, list of data, BB Direct, the list goes on, right? And you want to get where other investors aren't, right? There's specific criteria. For example, you know, I like the crash list. So, you know, after the last crash, let's say from 2010, from 2008, I'm sorry, up till about 2013, there's a lot of homeowners that bought at a very low price. And then the market skyrocketed, so they're going to have a ton of equity. Also, you know, unknown equity is a great list to buy as well, right? There's also a secret absentee list, which is essentially, it's a ballsy list because it's an expensive list, but I've found it to be a very high ROI. You take an owner-occupied list, skip trace it, and then you will see when you skip trace it that some of the addresses come back as non-owner-occupied. You take that small segment of list, you mail that list because most people are not mailing that address. That's a great a little segment, right? You can also, use that list and highly target them with, phone number marketing too. So county records, right? With PDFs. So if you're getting direct from the county, the harder the process is to get records, the better it is for you. Because there's going to be other investors that are not going to go to those links to get those records. So, these are just some examples, right? Another is second attempt skip tracing. So let's say you're doing skip tracing with Smarter Contact. Let's say it comes back and 95% hit, maybe there's a 90% hit, maybe there's an 80% hit, whatever it is. Get those other people and single skip trace them, okay? And that has proved to be a fantastic resource for us too. So, third-party sources, you can also build the lists yourself. Of course, I'm sure you guys know this: driving for dollars, bandit signs, door knocking, Craigslist. Co-wholesaling is also a fantastic way to get more deals. All right. So again, back to the planning process. Acquire list is number one, step one. Step two, skip tracing your lists, right? Step three, housing your lists in a list management system such as Property List Manager or Batch Lead Stacker. Okay. You're going to stack those lists. All right. And by the way, for those of you who don't have a way of managing your lists, if you're still using Excel sheets, please do not do that. You want to manage them on a software such as Property List Manager or Batch Lead Stacker. And I have a coupon code that's 10% off every month if you want to use that there. Just FYI. So after you stack your lists, you want to, number 5 is create your marketing plan. Okay, so now you have all your lists housed and you want to create your marketing plan for the month. Okay, again, I showed you a document earlier, and that's one of the ways in which we create our marketing plan. It's a more sophisticated way to be intentional with your marketing and also analyze your marketing, right? Which we're going to talk about in a second. So after you create the marketing plan, then you want to keep your lists updated. Refresh them, update your lists. If you're doing probates, however often they're being updated in your county, make sure to get those, right? The first to the lead, you want to be the first to the lead, right? So refresh those lists and update those lists, okay? I like monthly at a minimum. Now, if you're doing something like list source, or you're doing bulk buy, then you can update them once every 5-6 months, okay? This is the entire planning process, and you want to stay consistent with this process. All right. The more consistent you are with this process, the more consistent your lead flow and then your deal flow will be. Okay. By the way, this entire process, planning process, I have delegated, right, to my rockstar VA. Right? They're in charge of skip tracing the list. They know the property list manager. They know how to stack the lists. They're creating the marketing, I'm creating the marketing plan. They're executing the marketing plan, which we're about to talk about. And they're keeping the list refreshed and updated. Okay? The more you master this marketing machine, the more consistent, more money you will make. Remember, guys, you own a marketing business. You don't own a real estate business. You own a marketing business. All right, everybody follow me so far? Good, love it. Implementation, step number 2. Once we now have a plan, we then implement for our marketing. So I'll just give you some parameters for an implementation strategy for cash base. Again, narrow, super targeted, low cost, efficient. 1 to 2 marketing channels max. If you haven't reached your cash base target, be focused and narrow, okay? Stack your lists and do 1 to 2 marketing channels max. Typically, I like to still say 1 if you haven't hit that target yet, and move forward. Now, it gets a little bit more sophisticated once you're in the optimized operations, right? Your hotter niche lists and stack lists, you can hit from all angles. Let's say you're cold calling them, you're SMSing them, you're also, mailing them, right? Mail has actually come back around, and it was pretty dry for a few years, and now it's come back around because phone number marketing has become so popular that it's made a lot less people mail, leaving the marketing channel back open. So hit them from all angles, right? Your bigger, broader lists, you want to do low-cost marketing. You can also cycle those lists to do high cost every 3 to 4 months, okay? So something like direct mail, you can still mail your big lists direct mail, but instead of doing that every month, you can do every 4 months. So you're staying in front, okay? And you can create a robust marketing plan this way, okay? Last is make sure that you are cycling, okay? So I actually coined this term. and just list cycling. So you want to cycle on and off for your marketing channels as well as your lists. Cycle your lists. You can hit your list, straight for 3 months, and you can cycle off of it, come back fresh, hit it again 3 months later, for 3 months, and then the implementation strategy can get a little bit more complex when it comes to optimized operations, but this is just an example, guys. So again, 3 phases of marketing cycle: planning, implementation. The last step is analysis. We simply don't have time to go through analysis because there's a lot when it comes to analysis. But I did show you guys that view that I had in Podio, which allows you to analyze what lists are working, what marketing channels are working, what marketing campaigns are working best, so that you can double down on those and then remove what's not working. Okay? So, in marketing, guys, as I said this before, delegate this to a VA. If you're in the optimized operations stage, this is going to skyrocket your business. This is going to keep it consistent. Let me go back to this slide right here. All of this, including the implementation, right here, you're going to delegate this to a VA, okay, which is going to skyrocket your business, going to keep your lead flow consistent, and it's going to keep your business operating and flowing nicely. All right. So again, guys, back here, create cash base, optimize your operations, then build your team. So speaking of team, what does the structure of a 7-figure team look like? Okay. This is just an example of what it looks like. Now, these are the seats. Not all of these seats are a unique person, right? One person can be in 2 seats, right? You got a visionary and integrator with the executive assistant, who's going to be also my executive assistant is my marketing assistant. And that marketing assistant is going to be the one who's doing all that marketing stuff that I just told you. Also going to be managing the Podio, managing the CRM, creating scorecards, giving me updates, giving me reports, right? Director of marketing, probably you. Director of acquisitions, probably you right now. Acquisition specialists, along with lead managers and cold callers, right? Under marketing, you might even have SMS assistants, okay? Director of transactions, probably you as well, right? A TC, property runner, a dispo agent, along with a dispositions assistant, also my executive assistant, right? Finance, human resources, and bookkeeper, okay? This is an example of what an operation can look like, scaled operation, okay? To where you have 4 or 5 core people on your team. Maybe you're the visionary integrator, and maybe you're all of the directors, and then maybe you have 2 acquisition specialists, you have a dispo, you have an executive assistant, and maybe you have a TC as well, who is also can be the executive assistant, right? I've seen several 4 or 5 person operations run very lean, hit 7 figures or more, right? And speaking of the team, this is an example of one of many, many documents that I have in my drive for my students, which will tell you in which order you want to delegate, right? You want to delegate anything that's menial and low level, you want to delegate that first, right? Time consuming, right? You want to delegate that second, which is why you want to hire a VA first and acquisition person second, right? Low to medium level decisions, high level tasks, high level decisions. Okay, just an example of what of the delegation order. All right, cool. And then you rinse and repeat. Once you have, once you hire someone, you're gonna have a new cash-based target. Boom, optimize your operations to better fit the new team structure, the model, and then you're going to continue to build out your team, right? So, rinse and repeat is what you want to do, right? So, can you guys see a little clearer now the roadmap by which you can scale your business from where it is now to where you want it to be. Can you guys see that? Right? Shane, you're welcome. Welcome. Thank you. And so, guys, let me ask you guys this. How many of you would want to implement this system to a T? How many of you guys, I actually want you guys to put in the chat, how many of you want to move from doing 1 to 2 deals a month, maybe doing 3, you know, how many of you want to move to that 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10 deals a month mark, guys? Make that declaration. How many would love to move from that mark to that higher level where you're doing consistent 6 figures a month, right? Now, how many of you would want to do that sooner rather than later, right? And what if I, guys, being the guy who has done it myself, multiple 7 figures in multiple markets around the nation, being the guy who's also, more importantly, helped and led hundreds of other people to that place, could help you guys do that as well. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about, is I have carefully designed proprietary programs for each of these stages, right? To get you through. I have a cash-based accelerator program. I have, you know, a mastery program that teaches you how to optimize the operations and build your team, right? Now, undoubtedly, you can do it yourselves, and you can use what I've taught you today. Hopefully you took some notes. Either way, there's going to be a replay as a general overview, high-level overview of guide for where to be and where you are in each stage of your business. But if you want the in-depth, the step-by-step, I've carefully designed proprietary programs to help you get through each of these stages as quickly as possible. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. And so I have a 90-day coaching program, right? This cash-based accelerator is designed to help you hit that cash-based target in 90 days or less, okay? So if you are in that boat, that's going to help you hit that cash-based target in 90 days or less. And what does it include? Step-by-step video training, literally step-by-step. We've gotten tons and tons of amazing feedback on how clear it is. And I'm a systems and processes guy, so trust me, it's very clear. Weekly coaching calls, okay? We're gonna have weekly coaching calls to where we're coaching you on where you are and your next steps, and also any issues. So we're guiding you by the hand through each of those steps, sub-steps in your cash-based accelerator program. There's also a private accountability group, right, on Facebook, to where we have a thriving community there. Everyone helps each other out. There's an amazing camaraderie feel on our Facebook groups. And you also get direct access to our coaches via Voxer, okay? And last but definitely not least, we have a CRM that we literally give to you. You don't have to spend time, you know, the time and the money figuring out what goes where, what's the best way, how is the most efficient. I've already done that for you. I've spent years perfecting our CRM, and I give you exactly what you need in the CRM setup. Oh, and then lastly, of course, all the necessary documents for your business, right? So that's the Cash-Based Accelerator program, guys. And I would love to help you guys. If you guys are in that cash-based stage, it's absolutely worth, at the very least, jumping on a free strategy call with us to see if this would fit, right? And that's 90 days. And I promise you'll get your ROI, because it literally is designed to help you hit that cash-based target in 90 days or less, okay? For those of you who already have your cash base and you're looking to get more systemized, you're looking to get more processed, you're looking to become a master at owning a business, that's what this is. That's what my mastery program is for. Designed to help you get from that 1 to 3 deals a month to that 5 to 10 deals a month mark. Okay, we're going to be covering the second two steps, the step 2 and step 3 that we talked about, which is optimizing your operations and building your team. Again, helping you create an automated marketing machine. I literally give you all the step-by-steps, and I give you that marketing machine so that you can produce tons of leads, and the videos in there for which you can literally use those videos to delegate to a VA so that becomes autopilot. Second, going through exactly how to help you become a master closer on the phones. And if you are already, it just be even more powerful reinforcement. So if you become a master on the phones. Third, implementing that airtight lead management, like I said, so you can capitalize on every single one of those leads, right? I'm very proud of our lead management system, and it has that alone has helped so many of our students like double their business, right? And of course, developing an outstanding dispositions process to increase your average deal size. Literally, you get all your money back almost immediately from all these things that you're going to be learning. And create your step-by-step processes for your operations, for building your team. Again, going through each of the hiring steps, the training, the management, the leadership, teaching you and giving you the structure and the systems for holding your meetings, what KPIs to bring to the table and to start tracking. I literally give you my scorecard, so you're and coupled with the CRM, it all tracks automatically for you. So you know how well your team is doing, you know how well you are doing if you're the one doing your calls, and all that stuff is being tracked in the background. So what does that come with? Again, complete on-demand video training, 7-figure resource that has all the documents that you would ever need. There is one coaching call a week, and we are diving deep into each of your businesses and helping you guys scale. We just had our coaching call earlier today, and it was amazing. Everyone always gets off with ultimate clarity, and it's beautiful. Private Mastery Facebook group, and that group is higher level, and they're amazing at giving so much value to each other, right? We really do feel that way. And so accountability partnership, right? One-on-one Voxer access to me, right? So you have me in your pocket. So as soon as you literally, guys, as soon as you have an issue, hit me up, and I'm pretty good about getting back to Voxers. So you have me emergency if you ever need me. And then I have the Ferrari CRM with automations and follow-up. If you're in cash base, you don't need that because I want you to be focused on calls. Now, this is the Ferrari CRM with automations, with follow-ups, with automatic contract signing, with all these amazing follow-ups and automations that are going to make your life so much easier. Okay, so I know, and I appreciate Trevor, you said, send me your account and routing, I'll wire some money. You're asking for testimonials, and well, here they are right here. With testimonials, I have for days, literally endless testimonials, and I can plug you guys in with so many real life people. I can give you their information now of people that this works for, but basically, I'll tell you about some. Corey Geary, he started coaching with me about a year and a half ago. He did 2 deals. He was doing 2 deals a month. And when he started coaching with me, he had a full-time job working at a casino. Now he has a team of, I believe, 9 or 10 people, and he's doing 25 to 30 deals a month. He's absolutely crushing it. That's us, right? And he will rave about me all day long because I've helped him so much, and he's just crushing it. And I love it. Andrew and Dan McDonald down in DC. They started coaching with me. They were one of my first clients in November 2018. They were doing 600K, and now they've tripled their business. Right? They did 1.6 last year. So again, like these guys were already doing 600K. And I elevated them to a completely different level. Corey was only doing 2 deals a month. I think he was only doing like 200,000. 150,000 over the year, and I helped him elevate to, now he's doing 300,000 a month. More testimonials, right? Thanks to Mr. Joe, closed 20K yesterday, another 60K closing next Friday. All virtual, never seen the properties, didn't close any deals last month. fired acquisitions, got my bug right on phones, setting the tone for October. Boom. Want to give a shout out to Joe Dillon. This is Lisa and Joe. They're here in Tampa. You had us tweak our SMS process, and our guys have picked up 6 contracts since Monday. Third quarter is starting off amazing. That was last year. When you went away on vacation, you told us just what to do. First week back in the business. First deal put under contract so far this week. Locked up my first 5-figure wholesale deal. The system and process makes it easy to track, structure the business the right way. Stacking my list on PLN helped me to focus the most time and effort. From this coaching, we've learned how to simply create urgency on the buyer's end to lock up more deals. Good man, Joe. Thanks for the information, help, and videos. So I got tons of these guys, people that have been in the game. Emil, he's been in the game for about 10 years. And he's new to wholesaling, right? He was a very successful guy, he's flipped, right? But since he's new to wholesaling, he wanted to scale fast. He put 2 deals under contract in 7 days, right? This is Muhammad Ajaj. He also has been in the game for like 12 years. He had one of his biggest days ever, right? He had basically a $200,000 day, 5 contracts this week, right? I have testimonials, and if you are really serious about it, testimonials are not the place where we'll fall short. So if you're interested, so Shane, I know you said you got to go. Other people have to run. So Shane, Daniel put in the chat, we can have a 30-minute strategy call with us to help you determine what stage you're in. Okay. Help you sort through any issues that you're having, give you a very clear implementation plan, strategies to implement now, and a custom action plan for you, and to see if any of our programs will be a good fit. Okay. So for those of you that are still on, I know I want to be respectful of your time, so we're pretty much over. I just want to let you know, if you schedule a call for tonight before midnight, you don't have to schedule the call for today. But if you schedule the call, let's say for tomorrow, but you schedule it today for tomorrow, I'm going to give you my best list document. Okay. And that's a bonus. That's going to tell you the best lists to get for maximum efficiency and maximum ROI. I'm also going to give you my purchase contract. Okay. And if you just schedule the call today, right before midnight today, I'm going to give you, and Juan's going to tell you on the phone, he's the guy you're going to be talking with. I've never before offered this deal for my coaching program, but I'm going to give you a deal, and he's going to tell you that's going to make it an absolute no-brainer for you guys to join. So, but that's only going to be if you schedule the calls tonight. So, if you're not willing to take action, no, I don't want to talk to you guys, to be perfectly honest. If you're brand new to real estate, haven't marketed before, I'm pretty sure that's none of you. But if you're not coachable, you think you know it all, or if you're in this for the Lambos and watches, this is not for you. So if any of these are you, please don't apply. Unfortunately, this doesn't work for you. But if you're hungry, motivated for growth, coachable, ready to listen, ready to take massive action, you want to have a meaningful vision for your life, we'd love to have you. Please apply. Schedule your free call here, guys. Again, there's literally no reason and no reason for you guys not to, because it's free. So here is the link, right? And I think Daniel's putting it in the chat. So go ahead and just copy paste that into your browser, click book a call, and literally just book a call, ideally for today or even tomorrow or sometime this week. We can even do Saturdays as well. Juan's pretty open and flexible because we just love this stuff, guys. We love helping the right people elevate their business. So again, Daniel put it in the chat. So go ahead and go to that link, please, and schedule a call with us, and let's see if it's the right fit. And if it's not the right fit, that's totally fine, guys. I hope that I provided some value to you guys today, to where you can see where you are in the broad spectrum of scaling your business. Right. And another thing that I didn't talk about is I'm a huge proponent, guys, of just personal growth and fulfillment. And so another thing that you guys get as me being your coach is on the personal side. I actually feel stronger about helping people align themselves with their purpose and mission and vision, and coming into work and coming into their business and coming into their life with excitement, with positivity, with joy, not being burnt out, not being feel like they're dragging their feet. But that's what gives me the most joy. And so here you go, guys, my contact info, right? My email right here. This is funny. I actually got my IG. They deleted my account. They won't, and I have been trying to get it back. I don't know why. But friend me on Facebook, send me a message, and jot down my email here. So, you can feel free to reach me at any point in time. But I appreciate you guys so much for spending an hour and a half with me today. Thank you guys so much. I am super blessed and thankful for you guys just even being here and listening. So,
yeah, awesome. Thank you, Joe. We appreciate it. That was great, man. Tons of value right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys. So make sure to schedule your call, and we're going to give you all those free bonuses, and we're also going to give you that game plan, that action plan, for the custom action plan for where you are in your business. So.
Yep. And then for everyone watching, I know a couple of people asked like replay slides. Definitely head over to the Facebook group. I'll have the replay link for you. It'll only be up for a certain amount of time. Also the link as well. And then I'll tag Joe as well too. So if you have any questions, you can shoot them in the comment section. And then we'll also send you another email blast as well tomorrow. So that way there's a couple ways you'll be able to have the link, be able to schedule a call if you need to sleep on it tonight, and then be able to go through that replay again, because that was tons of value drop just on us. My brain's still like catching up. And the great thing is like, we've all been in that spot, man. We've all been in that spot, especially when it comes to hiring and delegating. So we've all been there. And if you're starting out, you're going to get through it. So, yeah, cool. Well, thank you so much, Joe. And thank you for everyone for joining. And Absolutely. We will see you on the next training.
Thank you guys so much. Let's crush it.
Awesome. See you, everyone.
Cool. All right.